afternoon.
Coach Bryan, Coach Satterfield was talking about how you all made some changes in the secondary, and that kind of kick-started things for you guys. How tough is it to make those changes, especially when the guys are played a lot of football for you, the guys that you're changing out?
Yeah, well, I think some of it had to do with injury as well. With Kendrick Duncan going down, and MJ has come in and played really, really well. And now Kendrick's back healthy, and hopefully we can get him back on the field as well. But also just rotating a lot of guys back there in the secondary, whether it's Quincy Riley or Brownlee or Trey Clark playing corner, Chandler Jones, rotating in and getting those guys a lot of reps. And keeping guys a little bit fresh, and I think that's helped us, and we'll continue to do that, and we've seen some dividends for that as well. So, but it's been awesome to see those guys go out there and execute and have fun, and they're doing it on the practice field, so it's been great.
Well, first of all, how much fun was it to watch that again and just kind of, you go through it, but you're making calls and all that, and to see your guys make plays, how much fun was it?
It was great. It was great to see those guys go out there and make plays, have fun, and the biggest thing, they're doing it for each other. And when somebody makes a play, the other one's happy. Same thing. When one of them gets a sack, a lot of the D linemen or whoever is on the sideline, they're coming up giving them love as soon as they come off the football field. But I'm just so excited that those guys have made a lot of plays, as well as I'm excited for our staff. Our staff does a tremendous job getting those guys ready to play, and did a great job game planning, and the guys went out there and executed.
In football, a lot of times you see turnovers there's a little bit of luck involved. With yours the last few weeks, there really hasn't been, but maybe the one the other day that bounced, but everything else is things that you're creating.
Yeah.
How much more satisfying is that?
It's really satisfying, to be able to see, all the hard work that we put in, not only, this season, but in the off season, focusing on turnovers and focusing on getting the ball back to offense, focusing on getting off the field on third down, focusing on getting off the field on fourth down. We had 3 stops out of 4, on fourth down, this past week, which is, turnover on down. So that's 3 other turnovers that we count defensively. But it's always great, to see, those guys go out there and compete each and every day at practice, and all the things we work on is coming to fruition, on game day. It was great.
Bryan, is the expectation now to have at least 8 turnovers?
No, I wouldn't say that, but hey, we just tell our guys, go out there and compete, each and every day, and whatever happens. And I, some of the turnovers, like Jody mentioned, some of them are, it just happens, and I say that's nobody but God, that's making it happen for us. And but anyway, it's not to go out and have 8 turnovers each and every game, but hopefully we can get a couple more this weekend as well.
One of the guys who's been playing well, obviously, is Josh Minkins. How have you seen him progress since the start of the season?
He's just grown up a whole lot. You think about played in sparingly. Some games last year was thrown into the starting lineup. The bowl game wasn't ready for that. And now he's just continuing to grow. He had a full off season to where he could do everything in the weight room, conditioning, weight room wise. So he was able to get his body ready for a real, college season, and that was his first time ever being able to do that because he's been hurt. And he's grown up so much since fall camp, from the first game to the second game, from the BC game. He's done a tremendous job, and he's leading now a little bit more than he was early on in the season. So it's great to see a hometown kid, having some success and playing as well as he is right now.
Bryan, how you set a heck of a standard the other day, but how much improvement is left in this defense, do you think?
A lot. We see some had some mistakes on Saturday, but the biggest thing is, we're getting after the quarterback, and sometimes he's not able to see some of those guys that may be open. And when you get pressure on the quarterback, that's a DB's best friend. Same thing in the up front, when the guys are great in coverage, that's a front seven's best friend as well with pass rush. But we have to continue to do a better job of tackling. I thought sometimes we missed some tackles that we should have made, whether it's from a secondary standpoint up front. And then we got to execute some of the calls a little bit better as well, to make sure that you don't have some of those holes that he can see if the pass rush does not get there. But we still got a lot of room for improvement, and I think we'll see some improvement this weekend as well, and continue to strive each and every game from here on out.
Bryan, going back to that secondary, obviously there were a lot of questions coming into the season because you had so many new pieces. especially these past couple games. What have you learned about the secondary, and how much have you seen them kind of come into their own during this back half of the season?
Well, I can say this, that they're a group that, I think Coach Crime has done a tremendous job with those guys in the back end, to where, they're playing for each other, and it's no matter who's out there, they're coaching each other up. I think about a guy like a Chandler Jones, who's been a 3-year starter for the most part, and he's coming off the bench and playing well. But when he's not out there, he's drawing things up on the board, for the guys. And that's what I see. They're just playing for each other. They don't care who gets the credit. They just want to win and want to be one of the best secondaries in the country. And, so it's been great to see those guys perform well. But I think Coach Crime has done a tremendous job with those guys in the back end so far this season.
Bryan, oftentimes early on in the season, when you guys were struggling, you kind of talked about it, it's guys are hesitating, they're not pulling the trigger. It doesn't appear that that's no longer the case.
Yeah.
What do you think, what changed with all of that? And do you think this defensive confidence can be contagious, and that's what you're seeing?
Oh, absolutely. I think it'd be contagious, for sure. Anytime you have some success doing whatever it is, it can get contagious from everybody, not only just from the defensive side, but the offensive side, special team wise as well. And, I think, early on in the season, you got some new pieces. You got, Momo Sanogo and Quincy Riley and Jarvis Brownlee and those guys who haven't really played with us. Just understanding to a T exactly what we want. And I think now a lot of those guys understand, and they're firing on all cylinders right now. And that's a great sight to see. But I think a little bit was, a little unsure of some, certain things. But now I think they're okay. Well, this is what I have to do. So let's go do it. Now they're letting their hair down and going to play. And it's just been great to see. And we're seeing it in practice. And that's what we said last week was, you win the game throughout the week. It's on Sunday. Right after the last game, you got to, take care of your corrections. And then you move on to the next game. And throughout Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all the way up into game time, you're preparing. And preparing to make sure you put the best product out there on the football field, not only from a defensive standpoint, just individually, from those guys. I tell them, hey, the hay's not in the barn until we kick off. So even if you're in your locker, hey, study some of your notes, so let's make sure we go out there and we're prepared and ready to play at a high level. But yeah, we're not sitting back and waiting now. I think the guys are really pulling their triggers and playing really, really fast.
Can you speak to the mentality of Trey Clark? He might get beat occasionally, he's on cornerbacks too, but when it happens, it just seems to make him madder.
He's a competitor, man. I mean, he really is. He's a great competitor that no matter what he's doing, he wants to compete in everything. And he has that mentality of a short-term memory, which I think is really, really great that you have to have at that spot. Because there's going to be times where they're going to make some plays. They're on scholarship just like we are. That's why I tell them, hey, so no matter what, you got to play the next play. And he is. I mean, he got called for a PI, got maybe one ball called on him. But other than that, he has a short-term memory. He goes out there and plays his hardest, each and every play. So he's a no doubt exciting player to see. And it's been I was so glad to see these last couple of games, him being able to make some plays, and help the team. And it's helped his confidence as well to go out there and hopefully this week have an even better game.
Coach, can you speak to, the importance and maybe the difficulty of ignoring the outside noise when, a few weeks ago, the hot seat for you and Scott was scalding hot. And now both of you, you're the coordinator of the week honor, he's coach of the week honor. Can you talk about the emotions of that roller coaster and how important it is to ignore it?
I never pay attention to it because I'm not reading anything on the outside, because at the end of the day, all that matters is, who am I trying to please? It's really one person I'm trying to please, and that's God. And we want to put our best foot forward for him, for our families, and not worry about the outside noise. And so we tell our guys, hey, stay off social media. Don't worry about the outside noise, because all that matters is what's in this building and what you think and believe in your heart. And, if you're giving your best, your best effort, your best attention to detail, and at the end of the day, you live with the results. And, I think that's what our guys have done. I think that's what our staff has done, a tremendous job of, hey, we have a pillar in our defensive staff room. We're better together. And that's what we've been. We've been better together. We fight through adversity, no matter what it is, whatever comes our way, we're going to fight through it. And we live with the results. But, we're here to please the good man above. And I think that's one thing that our staff has done a tremendous job is always understanding, hey, yeah, it's about wins and losses, but what else are you doing for these young men? Are you helping them in their lives? Are you, there for them when they're down and not just on the football field? Helping them fight through adversity off the football field. And I think that's what we've done here, and we'll continue to do that as coaches. That's why they call us coach. We put a lot of hats on, and it's just been great to see us have success. The last 3 weeks. So hopefully we can continue that the rest of the season.
Bryan, is there a little extra juice and motivation knowing that if you win this next game, you clinch bowl?
Oh, absolutely. We all want to go to a bowl game, right? And that puts you at another win. That we've love to have wins. Throughout the whole season. And but it's a little bit of motivation. But we know that we got a great test coming up. With JMU. They've done a tremendous job, over the years as well as this year. Have a great quarterback, great running game, one of the top 10 offenses in the country. So we have our work cut out for us, and we're not overlooking this game at all. And they're a really good football team on both sides of the ball. And so it's a motivation, no doubt, to be able to go to a bowl game, but also, just to try to win against a quality opponent in JMU. And hopefully the guys come back prepared today and ready to go to work, and we'll see where it takes us on Saturday.
What will the key be against their offense?
You got to stop the run. You have to stop the run, and you have to do a great job of mixing up things in the back end for Todd, the quarterback. But you have to stop the run. They do a great job in the run game. The RPO game is phenomenal. And the drop back pass. If he's dropping back to pass and he doesn't see anybody open, he can pull the ball down and run with the football. He does a great job with his legs, extending plays and getting first downs. So we have to do a great job of containing him. And if we can stop the run and do those things, we should have a good day on Saturday. But we have our work cut out for us. Good. All right. Thank you guys. Have a good one.